Hi everyone. Good to see your face, John. Welcome, welcome. No pressure to come on screen today, people. It was really appreciated you all taking the time to come on. I'm just going to wait for a few more people. It's not the biggest of crowd today, so we can make it a lot more engaging. Just wait. Good to see some faces. Hi Heidi, hi Lily, hi John, hi Malcolm, hi Susie, hi Wendy and Georgia. Welcome back. Hey, hey. See if it's coming on. You've got a pen and paper tonight as well, because there'll be certain things to, I'd say, to note down. We're going to be playing a lot on words today as well. Give me 2 seconds. Welcome, Karen. I'll give it about 5 more minutes, people. Hey, Susie. See ya. Where's Karen now? Welcome, Karen. Stephanie. Okay, so we'll get going. I'll wait. If anyone else comes in, I can just let them in. Just to say, first of all, a big thank you all for coming today, and thank you for your time. And I'm hoping I can share some wisdom with you, which has really helped change my life and certainly help simplify my life too. And the world that we're heading into, if we can make things more simple for us and we can then make them choices, everything else that we then do going forward, at least we can get excited about what is to come. So I'm going to put this on as well so you get a better. So before we start, some of you may have heard me ask this question before. This is a powerful question, and it's something that I pretty much live my life by now. So when you're on your deathbed, what words of wisdom would you leave to the rest of the world? I just want you just to have that lingering with you all night. Really powerful statement, and I call that a soul slap. What would you leave to the rest of the world? So my name's Harry, and most of you know me, Harry the Soul Coach, and I've been on a real spiritual journey over the last 5 years especially. And I've come to a point now where I'm really enjoying everything I'm doing. I've stepped into my path. I know what my purpose is, and now I'm starting to see the beauty in life where I never saw before. So soul coach, what is a soul coach? There's life coaches, there's business coaches. What's a soul coach? Well, soul coach actually evolved from people that have been told they're going to die. And I started my journey with coaching, and I'm from the fitness industry initially. So I was a personal trainer. I help people, transformations, weight loss, the generic stuff. And I was quite successful over the years with that. I then went on to teaching and mentoring. So I started teaching people how to become personal trainers. I went on this whole journey. I had 2 successful gyms in London. So I always thought I was a coach. Then I had my own kind of turning points in my life, had a breakdown, got myself in a bit of trouble over a period of time as well. And with that, I then had to start making some changes. And one of those changes was meditation, which changed my life and saved my life. And the second one was to get a coach. And quite quickly, I started seeing some shifts taking place in my life. However, it was only when I started to dive down this path even more and I decided to become a coach. And I picked up a lot of life skills then. Then what really hit me was the line of work. COVID kind of impacted my business in the gyms, and we had to shut most of them down for around 9 months of the year. And it was just a year of surviving. And at the same time, I was then starting to work with people with terminal illnesses, predominantly cancer, but all sorts of illnesses. And they had gone through mainstream medicine. So they'd gone through chemotherapy, they'd gone through radiation, they'd been on their own battles. And they got to the point where the hospitals have said, look, there's nothing more we can do. You're on your own, or you've got this much time to live. So if anyone ever tells you that they've been told that they got this long to live, just know that's a myth. No one can tell you how long you've got to live. And you can choose to take this finger and the words behind it as a truth, which I have seen in some cases. You've got 6 months to live and they die within 6 months because they've chose to take it on as a truth. But the people that I worked with, because they'd already gone through this battle and there was this will to live, I saw then the other option. And
I saw miracles take place in what we would determine as a short space of time. And it wasn't just one or two, it was just continuous. So that question, what words of wisdom will you leave when you're on your deathbed? This is where this got inspired from. So what starts happening is when we've been told you're going to die, when you've got some like devastating news like that, and all of a sudden fear and the word death and dying all comes into the equation, what happens is the ego just runs away, it just goes. And what happens then is people start making their own choices and their own decisions, being confident now to say no. I'm not doing that anymore. That person's not serving me. That person's draining my energy. I had some cases where people have cut off from their family members, said, look, I need to heal now. They're causing me too much stress. And all I was getting as a coach, my job is to hold the space, ask questions. And what was happening is they're doing all these decisions and we're seeing these changes take place. And as they're saying these important, meaningful stuff, I'm holding this mirror up to myself thinking, what am I complaining about? Like, I'm just getting stressed out. Even today, I'm getting stressed out with certain things. And when they're telling me their truths, all from their soul, it made me question myself too. So the soul coach evolved from people telling me their truths from their soul. And my job was just to be there and hold the space for them. And that was where the soul coach label evolved from. What started transforming from that was actually paying attention to what people had said. So a really good search term, and maybe to go and explore this after, words of wisdom on the deathbed. And what you'll see is it's all simple, meaningful, powerful truths. Be love. Enjoy every moment. Let go of the things that don't serve you. Spend time with people that light up your soul. Spend time with your loved ones. Do the things that you want to do. All meaningful stuff, but no one talked about some of the things that maybe I and many of us on here are really focusing our life on. And quite quickly, you start seeing these transformations take place. Not only were they getting healthier, their happiness started coming. And every single time, without a doubt, every single time they'd say, why didn't I just do this before? Why didn't I make these choices earlier? I wish I just made these choices. And it was the same every time. So the soul coach and working with these people, one, I got to witness how amazing humans are, and what miracles our bodies can do when we start taking control of it. But the other one was to take that philosophy and implement that into every aspect of my life. So with my coaching clients now, I'm taking the words of wisdom, and I'm sharing that now with other people. Do the things that you want. Say no. Protect your energy. When you've been told you're dying, which that word on its own is a myth as well. You're never dying. If you're alive now, you're living. You cannot be dying unless you choose to give it that label. So when you've been told that, the first thing you have to do is protect your energy. So what we would start doing is working with people, and we'd identify, and this is something to ask yourself, what's not serving me? What is causing me stress? What is angering me? What's triggering me? Because all that is a waste of energy. If I'm getting caught up on social media and I've seen a video and I've seen someone over there and they've frustrated me, giving my energy away all the time. When you're healing, you need to take all that energy back. So again, same principle, why wait? It's normally when we get bumped in life that then we can make the changes. We need something like that, a shock factor, for us to think, okay, right now I see the value of this. However, we don't have to go to that stage. What we can do is start learning from people that have already been there. The human experience, for me, is to experience all aspects of life, to go through the emotions, to go through a full spectrum of feelings. However, we don't have to personally go through the events. We can share the feelings, we can listen to the stories, we can engage with other people. So we now have more awareness for us and also the people closest to us as we venture forward in our life. So my words of wisdom: simplify life down to a choice. And that choice is one that you always get to make. So for the talk tonight, we'll spend a lot more time on words, but I just want to kind of show you how simple it can be when we bring it down to a choice. When we look at energy, there's only a nice energy. If your eyes are closed, it feels good, it just is. Or there's something that feels uncomfortable. I call that dis-ease and at ease. We don't need all the other labels of happiness and joy and freedom and all this other stuff. It's just it feels good and it don't. It feels uncomfortable. One or the other. So let me share the screen. And guys, because there isn't too many on us tonight, feel free to jump in anytime as well. I'd like to make this interactive because this has been a game changer for me. And when you simplify life down to a choice, when certain things happen in any given moment, you'll be able to identify that choice. So my label is a soul coach, and simplifying life down to choice, we're going to start with soul and ego. Anything that's not your ego is your soul. Anything that's not your soul, sorry, is your ego. So let's start with soul. So your soul is the truth. And everything about your soul will be involved of love, peace, joy, harmony, freedom, success. They're all from feelings. It just is. Anything that's not that with a resistance is your ego. So your soul is the truth. And just to give you examples of that, when you're lying, your soul knows you're lying. You might start sweating. You might start stuttering, trying to get your words out. You're fidgeting. You feel uncomfortable. There's something saying, you're lying. We've all been there before. You know when it's a truth and you know when we're making a fib. When you walk down the road and you drop some rubbish on the floor, it's a little voice that says, you shouldn't have done that. That's your soul. There's something inherent in us that knows what's right and what's wrong. And then sometimes what happens is you get that little voice and then there'll be another voice that comes in and dismisses it. Oh, don't worry about that. It'll be all right. I'll pick it up next time. The ego comes in. So there's this internal battle, this internal dialogue all the time. However, the ego is the mind. The soul is the feelings. Thoughts, feelings. Thoughts usually come first on everything that we do, but it's the feeling that is your truth. So I'm going to start going through this and explain it a bit more. So just think throughout this now. What is my soul from anything that I can do, from a feeling? And if it's not that, then it has to be the ego. For me, it makes sense. So let's start with the ego. Our ego initially is our imposter. A lot of us will start looking at ego as the negative. Ego is unconscious. Ego is the self-doubt. Ego is the opinions of others. Ego is our past experiences. Ego is blame. Ego is anxiety, depression. There's so many levels to our ego. And what's beautiful is as we go through on this journey, you're going to notice things that you didn't notice before. Remember, it's not your truth, it's your ego. So when you become more aware of your ego, it then starts to become your teacher. It becomes your gauge, and you can start having fun with it. You can catch yourself in every moment too. So every bad decision you've ever made will always be an egotistical one, or an unconscious one. You wasn't paying attention. So just think, if you're not being present, you're unconscious. Unconscious is ego. Makes sense so far? So as we go through life now, I always, in everything, is that my ego? Is that little brat at school? I like to use the analogy. Imagine you've just got this little brat inside your body. It just runs round. It causes chaos. It's very judgmental. It shouts at other people. It throws things. It curses. We've all got it. How many people's voices are going off in their head now? Like, hang on a minute, what's it going on about? That's your ego too. It's always there. And the thing is, we often get quite frustrated with it. Why did I do that? Why did I outburst? Why did I text that thing in that moment? we wasn't being present. The moment you say something out loud is the moment it becomes a truth. You can have these internal feelings in your body, but your feelings are your feelings. No one else knows them, only you. So you can hear the judgment, you can hear the I'll give an example. So when I'm on social media, for example, I get trolled all the time. Some people are quite nasty. I inside feel like saying you fucking, and I feel like giving all these different curses, like maybe what I would have when I was younger. However, I can control my ego now. I now become aware of it, thinking, hang on a minute, why is it kicking off there? Why am I getting so triggered with that thing that that person said, but the same person said it over there and I didn't get triggered? So if we can start paying attention to any sort of resistance in your body, any sort of negativity, any sort of uncomfort, any sort of fear, that is your ego. So from there, it's then to pay attention. Why has it alerted me? Why has it made me aware? So a great analogy is, imagine your mind is all those thoughts going on, they're clouds. And it's a thunderstorm up there, it's noisy. We get around 70 to 80,000 thoughts per day. We're not in control of half of them. They say that 95% of our thoughts are from the same as yesterday. They say that 95% of our day, we're unconscious. We're on automatic. Only 5% where we're truly present, which is quite worrying. We spend a lot of our time in an automated state. So what happens is certain behaviors or certain triggers, and a great example again, who gets road rage in the car? You're driving along and someone bibs you, and without thinking, there's an automatic, you turn around. That bib is the trigger, and the automatic response is to go into road rage or triggered or how dare he? That's your ego. It's not thinking. When you're in your soul, in your truth, you would never get angry. Your soul is unable to get angry. Your soul is present, and when you're present, you always have a choice in there. So another thing that I like as a teaching, if I do get triggered, it means I'm not being present. I am distracted. My mind is elsewhere. So if you observe your thoughts, and you'll hear this, become the observer. Observe your thoughts like clouds passing by. You'll see happy clouds, fluffy clouds, angry clouds, stormy clouds, and all you're now doing is noticing them. That's the noise upstairs. But all I'm asking for people to start paying attention to is your feelings. Your feeling is the truth. People can always disagree with your thoughts. We're all entitled to our own opinions. But when it's your feeling, no one can ever take that away from you. So when anyone asks you now, what do you think about that? Move the thought out of the way. So I'll tell you what I feel about that. And you'll see the reaction from them completely changes too. So every bad decision is an egotistical one. And every good decision you've ever made is a soulful one. And when you've made that good decision, that ego, or when you're about to make it, the ego will try to stop you. Anytime we try to go into the soul and be healthier and be happier, that little voice will become louder and louder. It does not want you to reach the soul, because what happens is the soul is in control of the mind. At the moment, the mind is in control of the body. So if we don't become aware, the mind just takes over. So as soon as the soul takes over, the ego doesn't like it. So set an alarm clock to go to gym in the morning. How many people have done that? And the alarm goes off and that little voice goes, stay in bed. Don't go in, get another few minutes sleep. You need the rest. You worked hard yesterday, have a day off. Wait till Monday, you'll be all right. Actually, do some yoga today, like we'll do it later on. All that little voice, all ego. We've all had that before, right? It's always there. What about when we're on a diet or we want to be healthier? And then you walk past the shop and you're like, oh, chocolate again, chocolate, go and have some. Go on, you've been all right, it's organic. You have the negotiating all the time. That's your ego. And you'll find that every positive thing that you're doing going forward, that procrastination, that fear, that doubt, that worry, that rely on other people to give you a confirmation, that ego will always be about. So this is the thing, what I love about this is that It's always there. The more you become aware of it, the less noisy it becomes and the less it takes over your life. And then when it does kick off, it allows you then to at least process it. So when you've been told you're going to die, there's no more excuses anymore. Ego is excuse. Ego just runs. It just completely runs. Rather than saying, so I was working with a lady and she used to apologize all the time. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I'm sorry I've taken ages. I'm sorry I couldn't come today. And I'm like, why are you saying sorry? Sorry is ego. You say sorry because you worry how they're going to receive it. Ego is also relying on other people. So in the end, we was saying, why are you saying sorry? You're healing. So we changed sorry to thank you. So this is a first choice. Thank you doesn't mean you're then taking responsibility for how they react. You're taking responsibility for your own decisions. So you can say thank you for your patience. Thank you for your waiting. Thank you for your understanding. If you've messed up, you can say thank you for making me aware of that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the teaching. Because if you're true to your word, then you won't do it again next time. By saying sorry, you're giving them something to hold on to. So the beauty of it, and you can play around with it. Thank you for your wait. Thank you for waiting. Watch how it's received. Oh, it's all good. You're welcome. If you say, oh, sorry, I'm late, you've given them something. So even the energy shifts as well. So if it's not your soul, it's your ego. And let me just show you how the mind has got such an ego on its own that we always say mind, body, soul. Mind is always first. We've got soulful feelings. We got soulful health. Sorry, we got physical health, and then they label it mental health. Surely it's mind health. Mental. Look at the word on its own. Your mind is mental because we give it all this power and we let it go. Let it feel like it's in control of everything. So the best way that I like to describe it all is that we're a three-part being. You've heard the saying, we're a spiritual being having a human experience. The human experience consists of mind and body. So I like to use the number 8. So your heart's in the middle, your mind's the top half, your body's the bottom half. Your body is the container of all your feelings. Your mind is your thoughts, and your soul is just your truth. It's energy, it's your spirit. So let's just start with the body first of all. So the thoughts always come first, and your mind sets the body. So whenever you work on mindset, we hear that quite a lot. Remember that word on its own is irrelevant. Mind sets the body. So the body will always respond to the mind. Whatever signals, whatever stimulation, whatever stress, whatever love you give it through the mind, through your thoughts, your body then will respond. Quite often we get caught up in the mind, and when we are quite stressed and it is going off, our body's just trying to copy exactly what you're doing. That's where the uncomfort feeling comes from. So if we can separate it initially, mind sets the body. But then we've got the soul. Your soul, in Spanish, Latin, soul means sun. So that's why I put the sun there. Imagine that's your higher self. So we're going to say your truth, your soul sets the mind. So soul set the mind. So the mind sets the body. Every experience you have in your life is through your 5 senses. Your touch, your sight, the sound, your hearing, your smell, and your taste. Your thoughts aren't part of those senses. Yet we still go with the mind. So if we now start paying attention, feelings is the truth. Because when you then pay attention to your feelings, what happens next is the mind will start working for you. It will start creating based on what this feeling is, then it'll put a picture and a definition onto it. So we go soul, mind, body, body, mind, soul. Your mind is the catalyst in between. It can choose to go in ego and be unconscious and cause all these other different stresses and triggers within our life, and the body's just paying attention. Or we can go straight to our truth, love, happiness, joy, freedom, and feel that in the body, and then the mind will start putting its own interpretation onto it. So let me now show you how we can simplify everything else to a choice. If everything's ego or soul, it's one or the other. So the opposite, if your soul is love, the opposite of love is fear. Grow and protect. We'll come on to that. From a cellular level, your cell has two responsibilities and two only: grow or protect, and it can't do one at the same time. And then the words we're going to finish with today will be positive and negative. So we got us as the person, love and fear, our environment, so our external and internal world is grow and protect, and then the words that we choose to use. So all of a sudden that all falls under soul, that all falls under ego. So protect. It's good to have protection in our life, right? So ego is our teacher. Remember, it's not a bad thing. So it doesn't mean we don't have to use it. So let's use an example of fear. When you are going for a sports event, you might be in the final. A bit of nervousness comes in. That's fear. Yet we need that to be able to perform. We need that to know the importance of it. Protection mode. Mums and dads out here, when you see your kids in trouble, you go into protect mode. We need that protection too. And the negativity, for me, we use this as a gauge. The negativity is great then to use on other people. You listen out to the words that they speak, because for every negative word, you can flip it. There's a positive. And when you start seeing the power of the English language by just changing these words, which we'll come on to earlier, all of a sudden you've got a choice through how we turn up in life, to our environment and the places that we choose to spend our time, and then the way that we look after our body, and then the words that we speak. So 3 things, always break them in: soul, ego, words, thoughts, feelings, actions. And then you can break it down into other stuff, which we'll come on to. So you've got the soul words. So I like to split them into, so straight away I know, are they coming from a place of love? That's their soul. What is fear? Getting triggered, getting frustrated, getting angered, getting emotional, depressed, anxious, spiteful. All of that is ego. All of that is under fear. So if anyone is sharing truth with you and they're coming from a place of negativity or they're getting frustrated, they're still under their ego. That's not their truth. It can't be. A truth is a truth, and the truth always comes from the soul. So if it's delivered from a negative place, that means they're in fear. So a great way to highlight that to people is say you're in fear, and you'll see the response to it. And this is what I love about this too. Even when I'm engaging with people, it's one or the other. So you show them the choice. You're in fear. No, I'm not. Well, the opposite of fear is love. And you're not coming from a place of love. So you're in fear. And it allows them to put their self in the different categories. When people are being negative, what's the alternative? Oh, there's a positive. When they're in that protect state, how can we change it? What would make it a better outcome? Then we don't have to overcomplicate anything. It's one or the other. So, love. The way that we show up every day. The way that we deliver our truth. What is love? Think about all the words that get attached to love. Again, you could say joy, peace, happiness, harmony, freedom. That's love. What is it as a feeling? It's light. It's hard to put into words. It just is. And then you can give it all the other meanings, but fundamentally it's love. The opposite of love then is fear and all the emotions that I just said. So how are we showing up in our conversations with people? Are we coming from a place of love? And when we do get triggered, what is the trigger? And then we've got different levels of the ego, of the protection. Are we going into hate and anger? Because all of a sudden that's completely unconscious. That's a complete waste of energy. Imagine if you'd been told you're going to die. Hate in your system still. Imagine how draining that is, how tiring it is. How many people have got into arguments with people and they just feel completely shattered after? Or How many people have been in a conversation with someone and they said, oh, they just drained my energy. They're so draining. Energy is real. What about the opposite? You're around people and they just light up your energy. I feel good now. I feel the conversations. We share that space with people. So just know the energy that you pick up of other people, they're also picking up off you. It's a shared space. And this is what I love about when you become aware of your energy, you're never going to be perfection all the time. Your ego will always come in at certain points. You're always going to have certain things in life that throw at you. However, just to be aware of it now, you then have a choice of how do I return back to love? So great question. In every moment you get triggered, and a lot of people have heard me say this before, ask yourself, what will love do? I'm having a bad day, what would love do? This person's being, what would love do? Love would say, stop talking, move away. Ask that question to yourself in any given moment and you'll see it covers all eventualities. So love is the truth, love is the soul. Anything that's not from love is ego and fear. So the environment next, and I'll skip through these ones because I want to come more onto the words today, but I want to show you how it all links together too. Remember, it's only ego or soul, but underneath that in our life, we can bring it to the two. So grow or protect. From a cellular level, if I pulled out one cell of the human body, as I said earlier, it only has two functions, grow and protect. That one cell has its own mind. It does what it needs to. Think about your body. You cut yourself. You don't give it any instructions. It just goes to work. All your little, I call them your soul workers, all your little cells in there, they just know what to do. The beauty of your body too, when we're at disease and when we are not paying attention, our body protects itself too. So all this stress initially is a thought, and then all of a sudden we get the physical symptoms to the point where we're not listening. Your body's now building a tumor to say, wait, I'm instructing you here. You need to pay attention now. So your cells are working for you all the time. Your body's main job is to heal you, to love you. But your body also has to listen to your mind. So when does most of our healing take place? When we're asleep. Why? Because mind is out the way. It just does what it needs to. So just think your body is the bitch of the mind, and your mind is the commander of your body. The moment we become in sync, that's when the whole truth comes in. So if we put that cell, that one cell has your whole makeup in there. Everything about you they can determine in this one cell. We've also heard that a lot of illnesses are hereditary. Diabetes, it runs in the family. Cancer, it runs in the family. Did you know that that's a myth too? Only 5% of your cells is hereditary. 5%. 95% means that they can be changed. And that change comes from the environment. So the internal, which is your thoughts, and the external world, which we choose to show up in. And we can change these instantly. And that's when it comes with consistency. So this change within the cells, I've witnessed this within the healing. The moment that people become aware of their body, the moment they start communicating with their body responds because it's being instructed. So if we put that one cell in your in a petri dish, and I actually might show you a video here. Let me just show you a video of Bruce Lipton. He's going to just show how the environment influences it. Oh. 2 seconds.
Just let me know you can hear that.
Over 40 years ago, I was cloning stem cells, and One of the first experiments just so blew my mind that it really changed the whole course of my education and my life. I put one stem cell in a culture dish all by itself, and that stem cell divides every 10 to 12 hours. After about a week to 10 days, I have thousands of cells in the Petri dish, but what's most important is all these cells are genetically identical to each other. And then what I did, and this is the experiment, I separated a culture of genetically identical cells into 3 different Petri dishes, and I changed the environment. But the culture medium to cells is like the world that we live in. It's got the air, the water, the food, all the things in it. So I had 3 different environments, yet genetically identical cells in each dish. And the results revealed that in environment A, the cells form muscle. In environment B, the cells form bone. And in environment C, the cells form fat cells. What was so profoundly important about this is if you ask the question, what is responsible for controlling the fate of the cells? What the experiment clearly revealed was that all the cells were genetically identical. The only thing that was different from one dish to the other dish was the environment. So while at the time I was teaching medical students the conventional story out of the textbook, the concept of genetic determinism, that genes control our fate and our lives, my experiments revealed a completely different story, and that was it was the environment that was primarily responsible in shaping the behavior and genetics.
So
5 words.
our environment will determine the change, and we're in control of our environment. So Bruce Lipton also showed that if you put one cell in a Petri dish, and in that environment you put poison in there, by the end of the day, that cell moves away from the poison. It just knows how to do that automatically. If you put food in that Petri dish in that same cell, by the end of the day, the cell knows to move towards the food, grow or protect. When we're in that flow state, that growth state, our body's in harmony, we're healing. We have our energy centers and we have all our vital organs. So our blood, it just accumulates around the body. And it's feeding, it's fueling, it's hydrating, it's bringing minerals to every part that our body needs. When we go into a protect state, we call it fight or flight. You may have heard that before. Our body goes into fear, but that fear has been determined by the information that we've given it. And then our body's just acting accordingly. So when we go into that stress state, what happens is our blood goes from these vital organs and it pushes it out to send it to our limbs as if we were to run. When we're in that protection state, how many people have got in arguments with people before and they feel stressed, but they don't remember what to say, they can't get their words out, they've forgotten things that and then after you just wish you said certain stuff. When we're in fear, our body goes into a panicky state too. So, as we're going through life, bring that grow back to the soul and bring that protect back to the ego. If we're turning up from ego, from unconscious, from fear, internally it's having an impact on our body too. When we're in our soul, we're in flow. When we're growing, when we're learning, when we're caught up in the moment, time disappears, our body goes into harmony. So the reason why I show that now is when we start going on to words, the words that we speak have a direct influence on our body. If you're stressed or if you're healing at the moment, we can start making some simple choices and you'll see that will influence change. How many people here speak to their plants? Anyone? Okay, let me just show you the power of words now then. So every vibration that comes out of our mouth is energy. And over time, that energy influences matter. And you can search these research all the time. So you can do the plant experiment. You can try it over a month. They do this all the time throughout schools. You can talk to your plants. You can speak with love and positive words to one, and you can bully the other plant with negative words and hate. By the end of the month, look at the difference. So our words influence the external world. However, like I said, our body responds to our mind. It's a thought that comes first. We then choose to speak it. So our body's also responding to it. So if it influences the external world, just know that our words are also influencing our internal worlds. I'll show you another experiment. The rice experiment. You can do this without even saying words. You can write the words on there because every font gives energy, everything leaves an imprint. By the end of the month, if you look at the hate, mold starts to grow. Neutral and then love, it will stay vibrant. What they also showed on the epigenetics, you can keep a cell alive forever. With the right environment, with the right love, with the right information, that cell can stay alive forever, which means we can live for a lot longer than what we are made out to be. We're told that we live up to 70, 80 years, maybe 90 if we're lucky. So we take that on as a truth. We're told that this is the only way it can be. We're told that these foods are good or bad for us, but we chose. We're energy. And then we can take it down to a scientist called Dr. Enomoto. And in the 80s, he froze water and showed you how water influences by the words and vibrations that we're giving to it. So if you have a look at some of these, everything is a creation in life. If you look at I Will Kill You, look how distorted it is. Look at some of the geometric shapes with a lot of these images. How much water do they say our body is made up of? Around 70%. That's kind of the standard thing. But that water is not sloshing around in our body. Our water is in our fascia system. So this system, our fascia system, is so important. It's the bridge between the muscles and the skin. You'll find that you see it's all in like gunky mess. So the way that it's formatted, we're constantly laying down new collagen all the time. So if we do things in a certain way continuously, our body's now developing that. As an example, when we sit at the office all day long and we do this for years and years, our fascia is the thing that then forms around the body to create that shape. We're told, oh, we got a tight chest, we need to stretch our chest out. It's not our muscles at all. It's this structure. Is also a web and a communication system. So our water will communicate and hydrate through this system. So if we go back then to here, if water is frozen, will change shape, then the negative words and the energy that we put into our body will influence a big part of our system. So the power of words. We talked about positive and negative, but I just really want to now show you and allow you to experience the power of words. And some of you have done this before. And you can change every part of your aspect and every part of your being by the words, the thoughts that you choose to hold on to. So if you all close your eyes for me. And as I said, your feelings are the truth. So you're going to pay attention to your feelings. So here's the power of the words. Don't think of the tiger. Don't think of the tiger. What do you think about? Okay, keep your eyes closed. Let me show you now then. So we got positive and negative. And my philosophy in life, I can only be a positive person if I use positive words. So you can meet me with negativity. However, I can change it and meet you back with positive words. So feel the difference. So don't think of the tiger, you think about the tiger. Never forget. Don't stop. Don't give up. Let's flip it. Feel the difference. Always remember. Keep going. Keep striving. Feel it. Keep your eyes closed. Let me show you the real power of words. So I want you to think of a loved one, smiling, laughing, and an overwhelming amount of joy. Now notice that feeling. And slowly bring yourself back to this moment. So just in a few words, that creates change within your body. So we can start playing around now with the words that we're using and bring attention to it. So simplify life down to a choice. Every word that comes out of your mouth, you're in charge of it. So you have the choice of what you say. This is why I love this more than anything else. The moment you bring it to words, you know what comes out of your mouth. I'm at a stage now, I've been doing this for about 4 years, that even when I'm writing things down, I choose not to use apostrophes. I choose not to say certain words, and I know that now. So if anyone tries to say I've said something, I already know. I don't even have to second doubt myself or guess anymore, because I'm true to my word. However, I know in my business before I said, yeah, I've done something, or I might have done. I don't remember it because I'm making it up or I'm not being truthful. So let's have a look at the positive and negative. So we said, never forget, always remember. If we now look at things from past, present, and future, if you looked at the number 8 and we turned it on its side, the now is your feeling, your heart. And then the past and future, that's your thoughts. I can think about my past, it's gone. It's no longer there. But that thought of that person that upset me, if I hold on to it, that feeling is still now, that upset is still there. I can worry about my future. I can get stressed out about my future, but it hasn't happened yet. So if I'm thinking about that and I'm feeling the stress, my present moment is still stress. So now bring yourself to this moment. So the present moment, you're here. Never forget. So from this moment, never forget what happened in your past. But you've stopped it at this moment. Always remember, from this moment, always remember. Using the positive word keeps you in flow. It doesn't stop anything at all. It always keeps it open. Don't stop. So from this moment, don't stop what you're doing. So you're going back in the past, don't stop that. Keep going. From this moment, just keep going. Keep it open. When we give instructions to our kids, don't do that. Stop doing this. You're not telling them what to do. So it's the instructions that we also can do. So positive and negative has an influence on our inner body. It has an influence on the matter and the energy outside in the physical world too. But it also keeps you in flow. By saying negative words, it always takes you back. And it always focuses on here. And what we said, let go of your past. Focus on your future. You've always got this moment now. So we can always have a choice. And there's so many different variables that you can use with it. So I'm in conversations now and I automatically change. And you'll hear me sometimes say, I think. I automatically change it. If I think it's my ego, it's my thoughts. I know. It's my truth. I correct myself. Never forget. Always remember that. I'll catch it. Bethany's on the call too, and she did it last night on the call. It's just something that you start picking up on. But what I love about it is when I'm in a conversation now, they don't need to know, but I'm being present because every word that's coming out, I'm paying attention to. So I'm hearing the conversation, I'm remembering the conversation, but also when they're being very negative, as long as I can show up, it's not my responsibility how they are. The more positive energy I put out there, love always wins. You feel the shift. And what also I like is like, poof, just a bit of positivity that I put into that conversation. I feel good for it. And you'll start seeing how the conversations start changing based on the words that you use, based on the way that you change the conversations. So the apostrophes, I can't, I won't, I don't. Let's have a look back at the past, present, and future. I can't sleep. I can't remember. I can't means from this, remember I'm talking to my body. The last 2 words I've told my body, can't remember, can't sleep. I choose not to. I chose not to. Oh, where was it? Sorry, I've got a page for that one. Lost the page. Okay, so let's look at the apostrophes now then. So anytime you use the word can't, you're telling your body from this moment, I still can't. I can't is all your past. That's all you're telling me is your past. You couldn't do it. But is it you can't do it, or you just chose not to? You did not enjoy that. I don't do these things. I don't do that. I did not do that. I chose not to do that. I used to be like that. I won't do that. I won't is another excuse. We can change that to a more powerful one. I'll come on to that in a minute. But can't, won't, don't brings you present, but you're now communicating with your body what you can't do. But you can do everything because you have the choice of it. So we can change the words. So rather than use the apostrophes, use the actual real word. I cannot, I could not, I will not, I don't, I do, I did not. Be aware of that because you're communicating with your body every single time with the apostrophe. So as I'm writing now, I still speak like this and I'm working on it. But when I write, I will always use the full words. And also I know now, especially when the legal system that I've been competitive with over the years, the words mean everything. Your word is the law. So I also pay attention to the words because if they ever said, oh, you said this, or they put something forward, which I've seen before as well, where it shows what I've wrote on an email. I didn't use those words. I know I didn't. I did not. I choose not to. So it really helps you in good stead to know what your truth is and know whatever people will then throw at you, it doesn't affect you. Okay. Wishy-washy words is an English thing that we seem to do. And we can use this on decision making and confirming certain things. So again, once you become aware of it, you can call people out on their lying and on their doubt, on their ego. So are you coming out tonight, mate? Yeah, I might do. Maybe, potentially. Yeah, I'll try to come. Why do we say all these things? Because ego, we worry about how it's received. Your soul does not want to go. You just don't want to go. But you say, I might come. Yeah, I'll try to come, mate. You give a wishy-washy word. So what happens is, if you're not being true to your soul, oh, go on, just come. Yeah, maybe. Come on, just come. You'll be fine. So you go. You have a few drinks, more than what you wanted to. You get home really late, and then you wake up with a really bad hangover. But what also happens? Your soul goes, I told you shouldn't have gone out. I knew you shouldn't have done that. You have the guilt and all the other stuff that comes with it after. Your soul always lets you know. Every bad decision you make, the truth always comes out after. You knew you shouldn't have done it. If you did go and you said, yeah, I will come, and you have a few drinks, you said you're going to be home by 12, you get home, you wake up with a bit of a hangover, but where's the guilt? Where's that? Oh, I told you shouldn't. You said you were going to go. You were true to your soul. On the flip side of it, though, yeah, I might come, mate. Maybe I'll come. And then you don't go. Your soul's happy. You're sitting there. You've lied to your mate. And now your mate gives you that, oh, they're always a letdown. If you just tell them the truth, you have two words, I will or no. That's it. And listen to no. A knowing. I know. No. So the actual vibration of it, no, is a very powerful word. But what happens when we say no? We then have to deal with their reaction. So we say all these wishy-washy words in between because we don't want to get into it. So an advice for people, when you're having these decision makings and you know you don't want to go, speak from your feelings. Share your feelings rather than your thoughts, because they can argue with your opinion all the time. Look, I've had such a stressful week. I really just want to spend some time with my family, and that's how I'm feeling today. Leave it like that and watch how they deal with it. They can't take your feelings away. So I'm going to encourage people, start being true to your word when we are making decisions. And on the flip side, if someone says, yeah, I might come, you call them out on it. You might, you will, or you won't. And you get their honesty too. So this is where the standing on the truth. You can actually then make people aware of their words. You're not being spiteful or anything. You just say, you hope, you might, maybe. You call them out on it. And you'll see it start working in your favor. So the soul words, I will and I know. So everything's in the power of threes. And this is what I love. Once you become aware of the words, it's straight away, I know and I will is the soul, it's the truth. So if someone says, yeah, I think something's going to happen, or I believe something's going to happen, I know something's going to happen. If someone tells me their thoughts or their beliefs, straight away, I know it's not a truth. I cannot accept that as my truth because they can't even back it up with theirs. When I'm sharing stuff with people, and there's a lot of people throughout this that have their own knowings, but sometimes they don't feel confident enough to say, I know. So they say, yeah, I believe. If you're unsure, say, I feel. I feel like this. Rather than I think, I feel like this. Because you don't then get the backlash from it. I know, you only can say you know when you know. Your soul won't allow you to. And you know when people are telling you off and you're sitting there, yeah, I know, yeah, I know. That's when you do know, yeah, you did let yourself down then, yeah, I know. So a knowing is one that you can stand on. So when people are selling to you, yeah, it might work. I think it will. I believe you should get a good outcome in that. Again, you call them out, you believe, you think. It's only when they know, and you can listen to people now when they're selling products, when they're talking about something that they love, when it's in flow, it comes straight out of them. I've had people say, I feel it's the right decision, but I'm just not sure, I think it's the right decision, but I think I might be making a mistake. And I say, listen to what you just said. I feel it's the right decision. There's your truth straight away. And then I think I'm making a mistake. Your ego's got in the way. So listen to think and feel when people are speaking too, and you'll see. And the beauty of this is you're observing all of it. You're listening, you're paying attention. Whilst you're working on yourself, you're not here to change other people, but you can learn from them. And I've got like a number of different soul words now. And I can share this after. So I just try to figure out what is my truth. So I will, I know. So will you come tonight? It will. It might. It will is the truth. So listen to the soul words, and then you'll see, can I take this on as a truth? Am I believing what this person's saying? If they keep talking about their thoughts or their beliefs, or it might do it, hopefully, they're not 100% certain on it. So you have to ask more questions. You can't accept that as a truth. We've all gone through life making decisions that we just wish that we didn't now. We wish we spent a bit more time before we made that confirmation. That's your soul telling you, you should have paid attention. You should have asked more questions. And if it don't feel right from an energy standpoint, oh, I'm not sure if I trust him, I'm not sure. That's your ego saying, don't do it. It becomes your protector there. Okay. So we're in a spiritual war at the moment. And a lot of us are on this spiritual journey. And we have many moments, a lot more recently, people are being aware. So we're having synchronicities. We're seeing numbers all the time. We think of someone, all of a sudden they call us. How many people are experiencing stuff like that? Why is that? Is because the universe is magic and we are paying more attention. So more things are being presented to us so we can start accepting it. However, we dismiss these experiences with our words. You see something, you felt it, you heard it, and you go, that was unbelievable. That was unreal. That was incredible. That was so weird. I get that all the time. That was crazy. That was mad. Imagine if the God or the creator was just said, right, they're paying attention. Let's send them a sign. 1111. It's like, how did that happen? I just pulled my phone out and you go, that was mad. That was unbelievable. He's scratching his head thinking, you experienced it. That was real. That was believable. That was credible. That was special. That was magical. We dismiss it all the time. So the moment you dismiss that experience, it's like you have to go again. And life, when we become more aware, then we can unlock the door to everything else. So I'm going to start encouraging people because you're going to start experiencing a lot more magic in this world. We're starting to see a lot of changes take place. And soon we're just going to be like, and you can start getting excited about when they come because they come in abundance. However, I'm going to ask people, can we start embracing that with our words? So we say it's unbelievable, change it. No, it was believable. God is real. The divine is real. Like, we got to accept this. And I promise you, the more you start accepting it with your words, you're confirming it to the universe. Watch what comes back to you. More confirmation, more signs, more knowings. So words have power. Two most powerful words in this world. I am. Anything follows I am is a truth. It's a confirmation to your soul. So I will, I know, and then this one, I am. The English language is so deceptive. There's over 100 words for deception on its own. So how are you feeling today? I am tired. I am hungover. I am busy. I am stressed. Listen to what your body now has to respond to. I am busy. I am stressed. I am tired. Body starts going to sleep. We're confirming that by saying, I am. The English language is so deceptive too that they ask a question saying, how old are you? And then you reply, I am. And then you say a number. So watch this. Imagine a 70-year-old man. I just want you to picture what a 70-year-old man, or if you're a lady, picture a 70-year-old woman. Now, picture an 80-year-old. Just see if you can notice the difference of that image. How many of those had a six-pack? So when you say I am 70, it's the image that you've given that number, and that's what you become. In Portuguese, and I learned this, I was learning Portuguese living in Brazil. They don't say how old are you? They say, how many years do you have? I have this many years. There's no attachment to it anymore. So what we can start doing, because it is just a number that with an image that we've attached to it. And what do they call it? Age, aging. They put the spells on us with the numbers that we then say. And every year we're getting older, which means we're aging. So how about now, everyone says, how old are you? You can stop them. How young am I? And smile back to them. Let's start confirming the youth first of all. And I feel when the awakening happens, I'm going to put a picture of Donald Trump. At every birthday for the next 100 years, every time someone asks you and it goes round 365, we get younger in numbers. And every time you answer that, you're getting younger and your body will start getting younger too. Remember, your body responds to your words, to your command. So if you can have some fun with it, and how many people get caught up on their age in this world that we live in? Midlife crisis. When you hit 30, it all goes downhill. We give the labels, the bratty teenagers. We're giving that association. And if you take that on, well, I've hit 30 now and going, you've just manifested all that yourself. So pay attention to I am. And the next time someone says, how are you? Please don't reply, not bad. Let's say I am, but followed by your truth. And even your name is given to you. Say, I am Harry. My name is Harry. Your attachment to that name, or I am British, I am an Arsenal fan. We then hold on to that identity. And what happens is people then attack your identity. They attack your label. I am a flat earther. Oh, you flat earther. That's not me. That's not my attachment. So be careful what goes after I am. Remember, you're confirming that to your body's responding to it. So I am is two most powerful words. And when you say it with presence, I am love. I am powerful. I am forever healing. I keep saying that continuously. Remember the vibrations of my body. It will respond to it. Okay, it's got a few more. The word but is ego. But is ego. But is like a typewriter. Anything follows the word but, you just dismissed it. You're just taking it out of the equation. How was your meal today? Yeah, it was nice, but the eggs were overcooked. Didn't need to put that first bit in. The eggs are overcooked. You'll hear people say, let's give an example. Yeah, it was great, but all the music was terrible. Don't need that first bit in. But dismisses it all. So when we speak, if you're saying something important beforehand, don't use word but, say and, yet. And there's some other ones here too. So although, however, except, yet, though, and is a good one to add in. So notice when people have a little swipe at you, or they'll say something and it's triggering, they'll say the first bit as being nice, and then they finish off with a horrible bit, the but. Or they start off with a horrible one first. Yeah, it wasn't that nice, but I ate it all. They didn't need to tell me that first bit. So pay attention to that as well. Just know it's ego, and they're not aware of it. However, when people are, again, I like when people are selling to me, because I want to see what they're saying. If they throw in a little bit there, first of all, but it's cancelled it out. So but is like a typewriter, but is ego. And here's another one as well. So this is the last one I finish on with today. Positivity. So I was in a number of groups when I was allowed on Facebook for cancer healing. And these groups had loads of people on there. And it was amazing. Like, there was a lot of people supporting people going through chemo. And what would happen? Someone said, I'm having a horrible day. I'm really stressing at the moment and I can't. And you get everyone writing their comments in. Don't give up. Never give in. And they're throwing all these negative words in there all the time. So then I started looking on the internet for positive quotes. And you start seeing. So as you look at this, can we change it? Never stop learning. Always keep learning. Never hold back. Never quit. Believe in yourself. Change them. Never lose hope. These are all nevers, but you can do this online. There's loads of it. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you are done. Spending today complaining about yesterday won't make tomorrow any better. What will make tomorrow better? I'd rather you tell me that. So you'll see when people are now speaking, if you listen to the words that they say, you'll get a gauge of where they are in life. A lot of people like to focus on the past, but the past again is your ego. It's gone. It's a thought. So when we're constructing sentences, because I'm not encouraging you, don't say any negative words at all. However, the last thing that you say is the confirmation. So if you're going to go back in the past and you said, I had a really sad moment here, or I did not enjoy doing that activity, or I was not good at that activity, don't leave it there. Keep that 8 flowing, and now tell me what you're doing after. So I used to be bad at sleep, and now I'm working on it. I had a bad injury all my life, but now I'm striving forward. See if you can add the and in and keep that flow and going. Remember, you're keeping the flow of the conversation, which means you're turning the inner body into your healing machine. You're bringing peace, calm, love, happiness, joy, because you're being in the soul. So as you go through life now, pay attention to the words that people speak. And what's great is when you start hearing them constantly say negative stuff, it doesn't mean you have to correct them on it, but you can now change your questioning. So rather than keep going back in the past, talk about the future. Well, what are you going to be doing next? Where are you going next with your kids? And you'll see the energy will change from them instantly. And we're constantly told all these different things. And I just wanted to leave you with this one. So even in religion, the 10 commandments, 8 or 10 of them tell you what not to do. We don't have an instruction book what to do. And our soul knows. So it just is interesting how even in the scriptures, we're also told what not to do. What not to do cuts you in flow and still leaves you then with uncertainty. So I'm going to open it up to people. I hope that's helped, but let's bring it back just to the slide. Ego or soul? So in every moment now, can you ask yourself, what is my truth? Remember, there's always one truth and there's loads of other things that people can say. There's like a whole spectrum of it. Your truth is the truth. And people can have all the different opinions. They can trigger you with all their different ego responses. They can get upset or they can be happy about it. Your truth is your truth. Your soul is love. It is growth. It is positivity. And anything that's not your soul is your ego. And you'll find it's multi-layered. It is an onion. And the more you start bringing awareness to it, the more that onion starts peeling, the more you find yourself right in the middle. Let me just also, just a few words as well that people said. So this is how my mind works now when I'm paying attention to people speaking. So I'm always thinking, oh, hang on, let's listen to this. So a lot of words are deceptive. So just playing devil's advocate. Stop playing the devil. Don't even need to do that. Hell, yes. Heaven, yes. We can play around with so much of it. Parents, listen to your kids. Remember, what you ask for comes true, manifesting. When they're arguing with their siblings, I hope you die. I've heard loads of kids say that in the playground. Hope you die. You have to correct them. Make them aware of it because they put it out there. Break a leg. Bite the bullet. Hit the sack. No pain, no gain. Pain, pain, pain. We're putting it out into the universe. No problem. I say, we say, yeah, no problem. I say, you're welcome. It's all good. No problem. It's just little sayings that we say automatically, but the tone of it, such it. I'll survive. Why do you want to be surviving? I'm thriving. Without a doubt. Doubt is the last word you put in. So I said the word can't. When people say, I can't wait to see you. Why not? I'm excited to see you. I ask for testimonials and they'll write, it was a great session. I can't recommend him enough. I'm like, you can't recommend me enough. I said, you just had a good session. You can recommend me enough. We say these words and it traps us, but we're not aware of it. So you can have some fun with it too and see if you can catch yourself within that. I'll send a list over. I'll send them on an email. And yeah, simplify life down to a choice.
There was one question in the chat. It says, how do we express if we need to apologize to somebody? So
for me, if you, when you say you need to apologize to someone, if that's from your behaviors, if you're really going to be working on yourself now, I would go in with the biggest thank you, but highlight what you've been aware of. And then from this moment, what you're going to do about it. Because if we keep saying sorry again and again, all they're used to are they just keep saying sorry. But if you can make the commitment, look, I will change this going forward. I just want to say I've reflected on this so much. And I really want to thank you for making me aware of it. Thank you for giving me a soul slap. Thank you. And then act on that. It's your actions that are the key part. Remember to start with, they might not know that, but your new self is every day. You're going to keep working on yourself. When you start changing, when you start growing, the people closest to you find that very hard to accept. And that's when their ego will trigger yours because they know that it's a truth, which means if you continue on that truth journey, they're going to lose you unless they change. So their ego will get all different things. They'll make comments, they make gestures, they'll be horrible. Like there's different levels to it. If you know that everything that they say is ego and it's not them, they're just unconscious, they're unaware, they're in fear, then you can start weathering that storm. However, there'll be a point where they say something and then you just, and you're back to square one again. They're like, right, I've got them now. And then it's a working journey. So if you're really sorry about something, I would sit down and try to work out, okay, The past, I'm sorry about. What am I going to do now to show them, look, I am really aware of this now, and this is what I'm doing about it. So I'd say find the solution in the sorry, and then turn that into a thank you. Sorry, I didn't see the chat then. Thank you, Susie. Must check what I wrote now. Hope they were all positive words. How do you express someone? Yeah, the sorry as well is when people have died. And again, working with a lot of people, and someone will lose a loved one in the family, and all you get is sorry from people. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry that you're feeling this way. I'm so sorry. And what I learned is when you change it and say, look, remember the good times, stay strong for your family, look out for the signs. They'll be proud of everything that you've done, and you'll be proud of everything they've done. Like, you can change it. What happened every time is you'll get a message back. Might not even be on that day. And your ego goes, oh, should I have even said that? Let it be from the place of love, and you'll get one back. Or when you next see them, and they'll say, I just want to say your message really lifted me up, because all I got was sorrows. They don't need any more sorrows. They've got their own sorrow within it. They need you just to be you. They need you to show up as the friend, as the mate, as the mum. Same with the mums. You've got a choice. What would you rather be? If your daughter had cancer, and we've said this quite clearly, what does your daughter need right now? A warrior or a warrior? Straight away, warrior. They choose. Okay, cool. What does your daughter need as the mum that you're playing? I need to be here. As a friend, if they got cancer, you turn up as a friend. You don't turn up all worried and stuff. Now, they don't need that. They need you as the friend. Any other questions, guys? I'm going to extend an invite to you, actually, because every Friday night at 9 o'clock, we have our meditation with the Soul Truth community. And if you are free, it's half an hour, be a half an hour meditation. You're welcome to come and join in on that as well. Definitely, I'm going to ask a really favor is to get me the link for that meditation. I might have it on my phone somewhere. Did that help, guys, today?
Hello, Harry.
Yeah.
Can I ask a wee question about like work colleagues?
Work
And-
colleagues?
Yeah,
Of
as
course.
in a day-to-day basis. A lot of the conversations are about mainstream news, and I don't know how to kind of deal with that. As in conversations, to keep the conversations flow.
Are they conversations that you want to be engaging in, though?
Not particularly, no, because I feel if I do express myself, then there would be maybe a few fallouts.
If you notice the word that you said, though, I feel if I express myself. So there's a truth straight away, you know that. And the thing when it comes to like work and colleagues and stuff, sometimes you can't choose that. However, it's the conversations. If you're not willing to go in there, look how it happened the other way around is usually the people that were pro-gen. No, we're not talking about it. No, you're not allowed to even. You turn it round now, that we're not talking about this. If you can show them all the good stuff and they're choosing not to look, you protect it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all I would say is, look, you're talking about this. Why don't you just pay attention to this one? Because I'm telling you, it answers all your questions. It'll show you we're in a good place. And if they don't want to, then you say, look, we're not going here now. And it's almost that you protect the conversation. So rather than keeping that in flow, because it can't be, they're all in ego. So remember, a flow will both be in soul. So yeah, I would say rather than focusing on engaging in the conversation, if it feels a resistance, be better at protecting your energy from that conversation, or see if you can control the conversation and where it goes. And if it does go into a place, you say, we're not going there. you're choosing to be negative now. I told you, if you just look at this documentary and watch the stuff, we're in a good place. And you stop it. No. You do it to them. No. Do it with a smile too. They want to know where you're going.
Right, cool. Thank you.
Oh, Bethany, I meant the meditation for today, in the Soul True community.
You said Friday, so I was giving out your Friday link.
Did I say Friday? No,
You want me to just?
heard that. You must have heard that.
I may have misheard you. Thank you for your patience. Do you want me to just pop the Zoom link in?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
1 second.
I've got to shoot off to do this meditation now, guys. Again, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the support. I always try to be positive. Stop trying, Malcolm. Try his ego. Happy and I will try harder. See if you can rephrase that. But thank you for your comment, Malcolm. Thank you for coming. Good to see you, Karen.
Harriet,
Thank you.
doesn't let
Happy
me.
Friday.
Yes.
It doesn't let me grab the link without being inside of the Zoom
Let me get it
because
off.
it's embedded in the website.
Gotcha. Give me 2 seconds. I'll get it off here. So, guys, if you are
Thank
free,
you.
I'll send this to you now. Thank you, Bethany. And Bethany is one to be able to share how the words have brought a lot more awareness to her conversations too. She's always correcting herself at certain points, which is, remember, it's awareness. You're never going to get it spot on, and you don't want to be, but it's knowing that you're in control of every aspect of your words that come out. So that should be.
I catch a lot of times that I'm not just correcting myself, but I'm also correcting others. Like if somebody says, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I was supposed to call you at such." So I just basically tell them it's okay, say thank you. Yes, it took a little bit more time, but you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a great one. Thank you, Bethany. So, guys, if you copy that, because when this closes, it won't. The chat will be gone as well. So, if you want to jump on, copy that link, and we're starting in 1 minute. Great to see everyone again. So, thank you so much. I will see you all very, very soon. I've got no TikTok, by the way. It's all been banned, and all 3 accounts have been taken, which is a pain. So I'll be more on Rumble. So I'll see you guys shortly.
Thanks, Harry.
You're welcome.
you,
Good to see you, mate.